I've done a little bit of everything. You name it, I've probably done it. This is the costume shop. Welcome. As you've seen as you walked in, we have tons of fabric on the hallway. We have tons of fabric behind most of you up on the shelf. This is still not all our fabric. We have more storage of fabric somewhere else that we don't show. We have lots of things here, and we use most of them. Nothing sits forever here. We always use it. What I have before us right here are the storyboards, and I'll pass them around in a second, of last year's Lusty Lil's French Review. It's brand new. It will be coming back for this year. I don't have anything new for this year because it's not quite at a stage where it's tangible for me to show you. So we decided we would show you Palace instead from last year. So these, like I said, are the storyboards, and we're going to pass them around. So we get an idea for a new show, normally in September, October. Pass them around. Anybody? I was like, I'm not going to walk around. Someone please take them. So this, we really get the idea, like I said, in September, October for a new show. We knew that Lil was going to go to France. That's all we knew. And then we knew she wanted to go to other countries, but we weren't sure what those countries were yet. So once they settled on what countries Lil and her friends were going to go to, Carrie, our costume designer, could then work on her designs to say where they were going. So the black and white one that you see passing around, that is the Paris, the France section. Very crisp, very clean, very Parisian. So that's why we went with those big hats, big things. France. We knew they wanted to go to Ireland. So it's very green, brown, velvet. There's an Irish dancer section. The skirts, the short poofy skirts. So we had to recreate that. How do you not recreate that when you go to Ireland? The next section was America. It was the red, white, and blue with the stars, sequins, shiny, flashy, in your face kind of things. And then the third one was Spain. It's very blacks, reds, oranges, pinks, very warm, vibrant colors, and big. You know, we had the hat with the tassels, the mariachi sleeves, all of that. So she would print out pictures. You know, she takes her time, Google image searches, go through books, magazines, anything she can find to figure out, okay, this is kind of the style I'm thinking of. She puts it on a piece of paper and she presents it. She might go ahead and say, oh, I really like this fabric for this look, for this dress, for this costume piece. And so she presents it to our designers and our directors. And they say, okay, I really like that one, but I was thinking more of this for this dress. And so it's a collaborative thing, you know, it's a lot of compromise of, well, what about this instead? How about this? It's not just one person says, this is what we're doing and this is what it is. It's very much a give and take kind of situation. So when she gets approval for those, she then starts to find patterns for the costume pieces, or she'll make her own patterns if she can't find something she likes exactly. That normally starts probably about this time of year when she starts pulling patterns. And then in March, April, we start bringing stitchers in to help build pieces, and we go ahead and start building pieces for costume pieces. And then we start hiring. We start the hiring process in January, and it's completed by April. So then we have the measurements. You know what body types, what skin tone, what color hair we have to match, because you don't want to, you don't want to clash with their natural skin color, because it doesn't look good if they're on stage. So we go from that, and the costumes are normally finished beginning of May. There might still be some tweaks to be done. The performers come in for rehearsal beginning of May, if their show opens in May. And then they do costume fittings where they come back here, they try on all their costume pieces, make sure their shoes don't hurt, make sure their shoes don't pinch, make sure they can breathe in their costume, they can move, they can lift their arms. Especially with Lil, she has these huge dresses, and sometimes she can't lift her arms, and that's a legitimate thing we have to worry about. If it is, and we like the dress, we don't want to change the dress, then we have to go back and change her dance steps, her dance moves, her presence. So it's a give and take of, well, do we really want her to, do the pose with her hands in the air? Yes, we do. Okay, well, we have to modify the dress now. Sometimes it's, it's either or. And then only about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, somewhere in there before the show opens, we do what's called a costume parade. We bring in the lighting designer, we bring the directors, the managers, supervision, everyone's there, everyone from the costume shop. And we have every single person try on every single costume piece in the space, in the theater, with the lights. Make sure the sequins aren't going to blind the first row because they're too shiny. Make sure, if Lil turns around, her skirt's not going to, knock everyone out. Make sure you can go up and down the steps at Palace. Things like that. And then we modify from that if we do need to make changes. If not, then it's good. We finish, sewing on the last few buttons and give them back to them and they start dress rehearsals. for 4 or 5 days, and then the show opens. Make sense? Any questions?
Does Lil have understudy?
No, we don't have any understudies here. We have what we call covers. So, not really for Lil, but one of the Can-Can girls knows the lines to the other Can-Can girl. So if one of the Can-Can girls is sick, the other Can-Can girl can fill in her specific line
So you
or something like that.
a new costume for that monster?
For like the Can-Cans, if they're just covering each other, no, because they're together. But sometimes, like I know we had an incident last year where we lost our Lil. She broke her foot. She had to go home. Wasn't here at work, but she hurt herself, and so we had to have a Can-Can girl for about 2 weeks kind of cover Lil. So we had to pull old costume pieces to try and fit the design and fit the girl who was covering for her. And then we got a new Lil, and we had to take the original costume pieces and try and adjust to her. And there were 2 completely body types. Sometimes we have to build from scratch. Sometimes we can't pull because, everyone's built differently. You can't, same person can't fit everything. So it is. When we have to do a reblock is what we call it when we have to change a show. It's kind of stressful if we have, especially with Lil, because she's a very iconic character. It's not like Alders where everyone kind of has similar costume pieces and, there's not one solo person. But with Lil, it's harder. Answer your question?
So do you have a warehouse somewhere then that stores all of these costumes?
We don't have a warehouse. We have a lot of small places throughout the park that we store them in. A lot of times, what we've started recently is we sell some of the costume pieces back to the performers. If they want to keep their hat or their shirt or things like that, we will sell it back. We don't sell everything back because some of it's very specific and hard to recreate. But we do sell some of it back to them, so we don't have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of costumes that we will never use again here. And then we take that money and go buy new costumes or go buy new fabric or go buy new accessories the next year.
On that same line, do you reuse shoes? I mean, I would think that would be hard.
We give the shoes to the performers. They get to keep their shoes. No questions asked. There's some shoes that we kept. If you remember Luminosity, we had Heelys for 2016. We kept the Heelys because you can take that apart and reuse them for other things. So we kept those. But everything else we give the performers their shoes unless they don't want them, and then we do treat them and spray them, and we'll rearrange and give them to someone else sometimes.
Where do they get dressed for their shows?
All of our theaters have a backstage area with a dressing room. What you think of a dressing room? Mirrors, big lights. They have all of that with a counter. So that's where they get dressed for all their shows. They come in street clothes with their bags. Sometimes the girls will go and do their makeup at their apartment. Most of them they won't, and they'll come in and finish getting ready.